Alrighty, hello, and welcome to Fem Sports Journal. Right there in the wait, there we go. Right there on the stream, you can see my newsletter, and you can also check me out on Medium if you want. Medium, right there. It'll be nice if you do so. So I'm gonna get myself ready and started around here in these parts. Um, so what I want to do today is simple. I just want to chit chat about golf and stuff related to that matter. It doesn't have to be like professional golf all the way through. It can also be regular things, about golf and whatnot. So let's get ourselves ready with it. Sorry about that. My mom just came in, and I didn't know if she was appropriate for the camera and whatnot. And Twitch is a little hesitant with that. Like, I've seen Twitch streams get banned this quick just because the girl accidentally moved some sort of way, and then you saw a little bit of her cleavage or half of whatever downstairs was being shown, and that's a thing, and I don't want that to be a thing. Where do I put the thingy? So okay, perfect. That'll do. I think. Not really sure what. Okay. Oh, that's way better. Thank you. Lighting was a little off. So yeah, let's just get ourselves flowing and running here as best as we can. Hope that everybody is tuning in, and then you're all having a good time. Let's check out the latest. I'm waiting for that thing of the LPGA on December 12th. That's gonna be awesome. But just to get yourselves started here with everything that I'm gonna talk about, let's get ourselves a little started here. I do have a newsletter on Substack, which is where I usually write regularly, even though I also write on Medium, but I have a better interaction here on Substack, and I'm doing this thing called the 31-day sprint on a community called Sports Stackers, and all we do is just us sports journalists and sports writers. There's a difference: journalist, news, writer, just whatever about sports. Anyways, the thing is that we're doing this thing where we all post a note, and then we share it on the chat of that community, and then from there, everybody has a chance to read, restack it, and do everything that they feel like doing with that. Comment, maybe, have a nice time, and get to know each other as sports writers, and we're trying to grow the community of sports writers in Substack, which is one of the biggest niches in Substack at the moment. That's the thing, and it's not gonna change at all. It is not gonna change whatsoever. So by all means, let's all support each other. So let's get ourselves ready and flowing as best as we can, and we have our thing that golf is a fun thing, but it's a really intricate sport. Many might say that football, basketball, and baseball, they're really difficult sports, but I might say myself that golf is slightly harder than any other sport out there. Other than, I think the hardest thing to do for, let's say, a baseball player is just calculating where the ball's going to go and hit it. But for golf, even though you are practicing as much as you can, even though you're doing what you got to do, there is this one thing where no matter what, you got to play where it lies. And what does that mean for the most part? It means that, you can't predict what's going to happen on the golf course, and they say that greens are imperfect. It's not always the golfer's fault, which I digress. The golfer's skill, and it's involved really intense, and that is like the biggest thing at the moment. It's just my opinion, and I think that is what makes a great golfer, knowing when to throw it, when not to not when to hit it, when to like drive it, when to use the irons, when to wedge it, when to slice it, when not to slice it, and yada yada yada. That's the type of thing that makes a golfer a great golfer. And for a sports journalist, specifically a golf journalist like myself, which this can apply to any sport, what's more important in a sports career of writing, and not just writing, sports media in general, from like podcasts, videos, YouTube videos, broadcasting, and all that. More than just the games, it's more about learning how to speak about the players themselves, because broadcasting the game, streaming the game, that's the thing. But being a journalist of a certain sport, you gotta go beyond the stats. You gotta go beyond the stat. I talked about it on my Substack earlier this week. Let me actually read you what I wrote, which I also posted it on my X page, and I also have it on my threads. So I'm gonna get it on my threads here because it's quicker. I already have it over here opened. So let's do it. So what makes a great golfer? A great golf journalist. A great golf journalist is not about talking about the yards and getting closer to the hole most of the time, It's mostly about seeing the struggles of each individual player in a golf event and comparing them to the difficulty of the course or hole, Greens can be tricky, but distinguishing a great putt from just hitting the ball makes a huge difference in journalism. Talking about who is bogey free and how they have managed in previous events in the season in order to compare will get you some listens or reading. Also, speak the lingo. Don't just say, for example, that was a nice hit on the ball. No. On golf, you say swing. What a nice swing. Strokes. Strokes is how many times you have hit the ball. Those are the strokes. Par, under par, bogey, birdie, triple bogey, quadruple bogey, eagle, hole in one. Those are the sort of things that you have to actually understand in order to make a better, compelling story with your journalism. So, as Anika Sorentam once said, if everything was given to you, it wouldn't feel as good when you achieve it. That's the thing. And we're going to always have that in our mind. You got to keep that in mind in order to actually, flow with the things. So, that being said, that's what makes a great golf journalist or a journalist in general. It's going beyond the stats and actually talking about the struggles of the player. Every player is human. Every player has their moments where they struggle, where they're playing amazing, where they're playing so-so, And some players, like Brooke Henderson, for example, she likes to say, I'm glad I'm in the mix. And that is another good thing about being a great player. Understanding that not every time you're going to play amazing, not every time you're going to be number one, and not every time you're going to do what you're expecting to do. And on those points in times, you're going to be saying, I'm glad I'm in the mix. And when they say I'm glad I'm in the mix, it's not just that I'm playing or that I participated. More so that they're like at the top, they're at the top of the leaderboard. Maybe they're like top 10, top 5, top 3, but they're in the mix, and those are the things that most of us don't understand. And one thing that we got to understand, if we put it to my niche, golf, Um, golf, there are two things that we gotta keep in mind. It applies to males. It applies to females. It doesn't apply too much to TGL in general, because that's a whole different story. But one thing I do have to say is that when you watch a golf tour, there's many events happening, right? But one thing is for sure, that all of us have to understand, if you don't understand how a season of golf runs. There are the points that you do within the match, within the tour, the event, within the event. Let's say the CKPC. You go into CKPC, that's the Canadian event. You go there and you see the score you get for that specific event, and you can win that specific event, but it doesn't mean you're gonna win the whole season. Because golf, as much as points and all that rank up per event and all that, it's an individual game. Even though we do have group games where you take turns with the strokes and whatnot, golf is an individual sport, right? So at the same time that you're trying to beat the leaderboard of that specific event, you're also trying to beat the global leaderboard, the global one, which is how much you have accumulated throughout the whole season, not just that particular event. Because you can win that event, but if your other previous events have been slacking, you're not gonna have good score on the global leaderboard. For the ladies, we have the CME, which is the one I'm always used to, and I know because I watch more women's golf. I only watch males golf when either it's a TGL, which I like simulated golf a lot, and because it feels nice to see weird golf courses, things that could never happen in real life. That's why I like simulated golf, because it's a whole different scenario. You gotta understand not just the way they play golf, but also the way that the programming has been done. So the thing is that the CME Global, and on the LTE there is the Merit of Order. Merit of Order is another leaderboard separate to the event leaderboard. So that's the thing, and if you don't understand that, and you don't have that in mind, you're gonna be like, but why did so and so won here but not there? It's more or less like when you watch, let's say, a football game. You can see them going match to match and they win, but at the end of the time, it's whoever reach the Super Bowl is whoever wins, and that's what matters. And you can be super amazing. For example, on the LTE, let me actually get the stuff here, because I want to say this correctly. Because in the Merit of Order, a different player got it compared to who got it on the, last game of the whole season. So that being said, let me grab this and go to the web browser here for a second. And that is lovely, to say the least. Because the thing is, like, in many different sports, you don't have that. Esports has that too. But it's not a thing in many different sports, that there's a separate score from the actual score. Some people just, this is the score. And some sports, they have this thing where they can accredit you at the end of the whole season for your individual score. Like, for example, in basketball, you can say that, oh, this guy was the one that did the most threes the whole season, and they give him like this sort of award, being like, you got the most threes in the whole season, kudos for you. So they have something like that in every different sport, but at the same time, golf has two scores, the global and the individual ones per event. you know. So if we go to, for example, the last one I saw, which was the Open de España, that one was incredible to say the least. A lot of great golfers right there, and it's always interesting how the LPGA is flooded with Asians from Thailand, from Japan, China, and specifically Korea. They have a lot of Koreans. Koreans are everywhere. They play a lot of golf. Golf is like their thing when it comes to sports, you know. Which I will be surprised, because you know what we mostly know for Korea and their sport is the Taekwondo. That be a thing. That's just me being a little cliche with things, you know. Anywho, let's get ourselves a running here. So, the player that was crowned the Order of Merit was none other than her name is over here, Shannon Tan. Her name was slipping out because there's so many golfers to keep track of. But the thing is, Shannon Tang was the one that was, you know, taking it all, and that's why she got the Order of Merit. But if we go into the last game of the whole season for the European Tour, we can see that it was someone different that took the game, and that is incredible to say the least. It was Nadal. Nadal, she won the Open de España in Andalusia. That was the game that made her win the last game of the whole season, the last event, and we're done, and we're gonna have to wait until next season now. But except for the regular LPGA in America, that we have that one invitational thing on December 12th to the 14. They're usually like 3 days in a row or 4 days in a row, because they were like 3 to 4 rounds. So the thing is that's so you can get an idea. You know, Nadal got the last game of the whole season, but Shannon Tong got the Order of Merit. See, 2 different leaderboards, and that's something that makes golf interesting, you know, because even though you might have lost the last event of the whole season, there is still a chance that you might get something if you did great on previous events. I just wanted to clear that out. I just want to put that in there because, you know, not everybody here understands golf, and I've tried to explain this to some people, and they go like, huh? What does that mean? Isn't golf like individual, and like if you win this event and you don't play in the next event, that means that you won that one, but what matters here? There's a global CME for everybody, you know? Whether you pass to the next event or not, the CME is still counting if you are still in the you know, on the leaderboard in the section where you're not crossed out, because you know there is a point in time where you can get crossed out, you know, and that is normal, that is natural, that's the thing, you know, and we can't be thinking otherwise. Oh well, what the hell is that you're kicked out from this event, you know. Not every player gets to like progress throughout the season, you know. That's another thing that makes golf interesting, you know, and I like that, you know, because you don't get to see the same players over and over, or you don't get to see the same teams going forward. Individuality is a good thing sometimes in sports, and I do like that. And for a journalist like myself, it makes it easier to track, you know, because you don't have to track a team's performance, plus the individual players, plus how the coach is doing, plus how the leaderboard of the whatchamacallit, the who's in the standings, you know, that is such a mind boggle to me sometimes, because I've done that for softball, for baseball, I've done that for women's NBA, when I used to watch a lot of World of Warcraft events and whatnot. That was so crazy. But now that I am just exclusively for golf since quite a while, even though I've diverted a little bit from other women's sports because I felt the need to, which I kind of regret in a way, because golf is my thing. Golf is what made me become a journalist for sports, because before I was just an entertainment journalist, and that wasn't doing much for me in terms of getting the people in here. But the thing is that you know, golf is my thing, and wanting to explain you all the details is something that not everybody likes to do. So the thing is that most people don't understand that. They don't understand the whole dealio of wait, it's individual, so we have less to get stressed about. And that is something that I like about golf when it comes to journalism. I don't have to like struggle about, like I said, the team, the coach, the individual players, the standings, and what does this mean for so and so, and yada yada. No. I'd rather just have individual players the same way that an esport event works. Individual players, and just understand what they're doing and criticize individual, like criticizing golf players. It feels to me the same way as when I used to be so into doing entertainment journalism, specifically music in this case, and I was like criticizing individually drummers, and that it feels the same way. Instead of criticizing someone banging some drums, doing some rhythms, it's just someone swinging a club. But it feels similar. I just switched it from a natural space there rather than a studio or a control environment. And that is incredible, to say the least, because not many sports are out there. How would I say this individually? Sure, you can say badminton, tennis, ping pong, darts, horse racing, racing, track and field. You can say those are individual sports, but I'm talking professionally. There ain't much professional sports that are individual other than golf and tennis. Oh, and PBA, Professional Bowling Association. Yeah. Well, no, that's not really that individual. PBA, they're set up in teams of 4. So that's the thing. It's not that common to have individual sports, and many people confuse individual sports from like things like baseball, for example. That it's a game about the pitcher and everybody works individually in a way, And I'm like, no, that's not what an individual sport means. Boxing is a good example because it's just boxer versus boxer, period. There's no team in there other than your coach yelling, do the jab, do the hook, And the guy that cleans your sweat and your bruises and whatnot, and your cuts. That's another example of an individual sport. But for a sport like golf, it's totally 100% individual. Very much there happening. Nope, not at all. Anyways, give me a second here to check out my stats. Alright, let's see what we have here. Let me check how many people have tuned in. We've only been 36 minutes here. Alright, so let's get ourselves flowing as best as we can. So if you want to really check me out, I'm active on oh my god, I'm active right here on Medium and on my sports newsletter, FM Sports Journal right here. I'm active there a lot, but I'm mostly active on X, and I post at least once a day a YouTube short, because I've been enjoying the shorts more than anything else, because I never thought I was going to enjoy shorts that much, because I was always trying to do that whole 20 to 30 minute podcasting, and that wasn't working until I hit that short YouTube shorts thing, and I started doing it more consistently, and my favorite thing to do is like not really like a podcast, but like to have that sort of structure and just talk about a specific thing rather than just ranting or talking normally, having the podcast structure, but like in like maximum a minute. I wouldn't do the 3 minutes, but yeah, that's the thing. And I've been having a lot of blast there. I do comment a lot there. If you reply to my and comment to my shorts, I'll do reply. And there's a high possibility that if I really think that your comment is really good, and it could be something negative, and I'll still find it good. Like, this is great for a video response. I'll respond to your stuff on a video, and that's the thing. And if you're willing to check me out on YouTube, I'll be more than happy to respond to your comments. And I would love if you could like subscribe. That'd be great. Cause sure, you can comment, you can like and share, but subscribing is where it's at. So go do so. Same with here. Follow me here. I already have 115, and I want at least 200 people here so I can get more people interested in what I do. And if you don't know about golf, that's okay. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to let you know what's good and what's not, And it's funny how I got into, if you're asking, how did you get interested in doing golf journalism? Well, I first got interested in golf through Mario. As silly as it sounds. Then Wii Sports. Then Switch Sports, And I first started by just saying random comments here and there throughout my entertainment journalism about sports. And then once I did, I don't know why, one single golf. Oh yeah, I remember why. I was searching what's the most easiest sport to keep track of, in the sense that you don't have to keep track of too many stats. And the top one that came out on my internet research was golf. Golf is individual. All you gotta do is keep track of certain players, and if you're a journalist, you don't have to talk about every single player. That is for the association itself, like maybe the LPGA, the PGA, DP World Tour, TGL. They are the ones responsible for showcasing every single player. But you, as a journalist, you can just grab the top 5. You can just grab the top 3, and even if it's pretty much engaging, you're gonna have people reading. You're gonna have people listening. And I was like, okay, I'll go for that. But then slowly, I just bloop. And softball came in my way, and I started to get a little bit of a momentum there. But I was like, as much as I love everything else, I think that golf is my sport to talk about. I got to talk about more about that, and I can't leave that behind. When I'm in my spare time on video games, I'm not mostly playing baseball games and softball games or basketball games. I'm playing golf games if I'm playing a sports game, because I also like my RPGs and my strategy games, But if I'm playing a sports game, I'm most probably playing, you guessed it, golf. Whether it's a VR golf or a regular video game golf. When I was a kid, I remember playing a lot. Not the actual golf game itself, but the mini game of the mini golf, Hot Shot. That was amazing. I loved that one. I never beat it. I never got all the characters and whatnot. But yeah. Then after that, I got obsessed, like heavily obsessed. I remember that by that time, Halo had come out, and my neighbors were like so into Halo, but I was like, hey, let's play this. And I always wanted to play my Mario Golf on the GameCube. Always. And lots of people were a little bit like, I also like my Mario Tennis, but I tried the Wii U Tennis, Mario Tennis, and that was a little bit effing. Could have been better. But yeah. Anyways, that's the thing, and I think that everybody is doing great, and I enjoy golf, and if you enjoy golf, golf is great. There's a whole philosophy. Golf sometimes can be therapeutic. There's a whole philosophy behind golf that golf is relaxing. as much as you can stress out from missing a shot. Anyways, I have a video on my YouTube short where I reposted a random TikTok video that I found of a boy that brought her girlfriend to the golf course and to try out a little bit of golf, and she then absolutely got obsessed to the point that she started actually legitly practicing. So I reposted that, right? And the thing is that once I reposted it, someone said, hey, isn't like the whole point of golf is to get away from your lady for a while? And I'm like, well, maybe that could be the case, but you never know. If she gets so good at golf that she ends up in the LPGA and then she's touring around the world, or I'm in the USA, and then you're like, well, she's out. I'm all in the golf course alone again. You never know if that's the thing, you know? But then again, some people don't mind playing with their girlfriend. That's why that dude, in the first place, that mate brought her in to the golf course to play. That mate was all the way in. No way to feel different, you know? And that's the thing, you know? And you have to, like, understand that not all the time that other people use this for an escapism, the other person's gonna use it for an escapism too. Not all the time. Okay? Not all the time. That is a given fact. Anywho, thank you all for tuning in if you did. And if you're looking at this pre-recorded, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. And you're amazing. Just remember, keep swinging. Keep swinging. It's gonna go. It's gonna go. And if you hit someone, just say 4. It's customary to do so. And don't be like Donald Trump and swing it from the fringe and then put it in the hole and walk away and expect someone else to pick the ball. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. That's a big no-no. A big no-no. Anyways, au revoir.